तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and in chapter 31, chapter 32, visit to the Sithi Brahma Samaj, that is Veni Madhav Pal's garden house. They used to celebrate the autumnal celebration of the Brahma Samaj, and there Thakur has gone, and a sub-judge is asking him various questions, and Thakur is replying in details to every question of his. Though a man says that I should not accept, and Thakur says no, you should understand and then accept. And now we see that Trailokya and many other Brahmas joined that question and answer. And in Bengali, there is a subheading, Baddhaju Mrityukale Ishwarer Nam Korena, on page 665. In English, there is no such heading, but while describing, the sub-judge has said that God might have made everybody equal. And to that, Thakur is showing, after all other discussions are over, Thakur comes back to that point and is telling, see how many types of people are there. From worldly point of view, social, and then from spiritual point of view. He is telling there are perfected of the perfected, there are the perfected, there are the strugglers, and there are who are fully bound. And while describing these bound people, he has come to a new point, important point. While describing the absolutely bound people, he has come to a new and important point. And there we start. Yesterday we had read that para, but we go back to that and say, the entangled creatures, page 631, last para. The entangled creatures attached to worldliness talk only of worldly things in the hour of death. Now in the Gita, it is said that, 8th chapter, whatever one thinks at the point of death, that he becomes. So in reference to that, Thakur is telling the worldly people cannot think of anything else other than the world, even at the point of death. What will, now a new point is here, what will it avail such men if they outwardly repeat the name of God, take a bath in the Ganges, or visit sacred places? So from outward appearance, they are religious people. They are taking the name of God. Externally, not with a feeling, not with any bhava inside, and taking the name of God mechanically, or for hypocrisy, for appearance, or on the surface. And Similar other things, taking bath in the Ganges is a great purifier. But the intention to get purified is not there. And going to places of pilgrimage also is for condensing the making it solid, the bhakti. But that is not there. They are going as a tourist. Outside we see, if they cherish within themselves attachment to the world, it must show up at the hour of death. The Gita says that if you want such a thing, thinking of God, then whole life you have to think of Him. Now, outwardly, even if they do that, that will not serve the purpose. In the mind, they are attached to the world. It must show up at the hour of death. While dying, they rave nonsense. There are several stories of that. That the weakness, the tongue is moving, but people cannot hear what they want to say. People think that they want to take the name of God, and brandy or that hemagarbha matra is given. And then the speech becomes audible. And they say that we kept more, the oil is burning, or that calf is eating the broomstick, you are not careful about that. So only worldly things come out. As opposed to that, I told you one story. There was one Nityasthananda from Kerala, and he had come to Nagpur. He was a shy person, so he could not talk to our Swami heartily, though he stayed there for 3 days. And on the day when he had to go back, he told one of our Swamis that I want to talk little heartily with our Swami. Then that person conveyed it to our Swami, and he had canvas shoes on, perhaps because after that he had to go. And on the veranda, above the arrangement there in the old temple, now it is not there. Above the temple there is second story, that means temple itself is of double height. But there is a veranda in front of the temple, and there is a veranda on the upper floor also on that. And after the veranda, there is a half step like stone, and then the ground. Now they were walking in the upper veranda. And because perhaps the talk became intense, they stood. That Swami's back is toward the parapet, and our Swamiji's front is towards him. And then the parapet is not too small. But what happened, we don't know. And he fell like that. His head struck on the stone which was near the veranda and broke immediately. We were all assembled, sitting near about. As soon as the conch shell will blow, we'll attend the arati. That was the situation. So immediately we rushed, lifted him, and immediately we phoned the doctor, who came within 5 minutes. He saw and said, there has been a hemorrhage. Immediately he should be admitted to the hospital. So we went there, they also obliged. So within 20 minutes of that accident, he was admitted. And they started taking full care of him. He was fully unconscious. After a few days, his lips started moving and some inaudible sound came. Now, the nurses there, they were all from Kerala. And the Swami was from Kerala. So somebody told the nurses, you put your ear on his lips, you can understand what he is talking. So what they heard, perhaps, and they said he wants coffee, according to their brain. There is no question of giving coffee. It continued that day. Next day, the consciousness was revived a little and pain throughout the body was felt. So he started shouting his Ishta mantra. There was claim perhaps in that bija, and so that was the cause. Then we understood what he wants, and then that shouting gave him more pain and that level of consciousness, and that shouting made him exhausted. Again, his consciousness level became low, again, only the lips moving. This went on for some days till he passed away on the 13th day. So, how deep that mantra had gone in him. Age was around 35. How deep that mantra had gone in him, one can understand from this. In contrast to that, some worldly people may take the mantra outside but no feeling inside. See, the feeling or what you like to call it, even such a big accident, even no consciousness, and yet in the deepest consciousness, he is uttering that mantra. So this glorious example came before my mind just now. On the other hand, Thakur is telling a man is outwardly taking the name of God, but no feeling inside. Perhaps they cry out in a delirium, turmeric powder, seasoning, bay leaf, the singing parrot example, outside and inside. The singing parrot seized by a cat, it utters, no, the singing parrot when at ease repeats the holy name of Radha and Krishna as he is taught, without understanding, without any feeling. But when it is seized by a cat, it utters its own natural sound. It quacks, kaka. Now, the lady who was teaching him was doing it with a feeling. So in Hindi, there is a famous song which includes the line, Shuga padai ke ganika tari, tari Mirabai. So a prostitute, by teaching the parrot, that prostitute was saved because she was doing it with a feeling. While the parrot shouted kaka because it was outside only. It is said in the Gita that whatever one thinks in the hour of death, one becomes in the afterlife. King Bharata, this story we have heard once, King Bharata gave up his body exclaiming, dear, dear, and was born as a deer in his next life. But if a man dies thinking of God, then he attains God. Thinking of God in the mind. And he does not have to come back to the life of this world. Now, taking this point, some other Brahmo devotee is asking a question. A Brahmo devotee, sir, suppose, this is a hypothetical question, suppose a man has thought of God at other times during his life, but at the time of his death forgets him. Would he on that account come back to this world of sorrow and suffering? Why should it be so? He certainly thought of God sometime during his life. Now the question is all time during his life and sometime during his life. An outside name and with a feeling name. Master, a man thinks of God, no doubt. So not only repeats, but thinks of God also, no doubt. But he has no faith in him. He does not believe in God. He does not believe in the feeling for God. He does not believe that this name will save me at the end. Again and again he forgets God and becomes attached to the world. So he says sometimes he has taken the name, that means after that he has forgotten. Attached to the world. It is like giving the elephant a bath. Example, huh? Afterwards he covers his body with mud and dirt again. As soon as the elephant comes out of water, he starts doing what his nature taught him. And he takes up the dust or the mud and throws it on his own body. This is the best example. The mind is a mad elephant. But if you can make the elephant go into the stable immediately after bathing him, then he stays clean. No chance for him. No mud there, no dust there. Just so, क्या beautiful example ठाकुर ने बनाया है. Just so, if a man thinks of God in the hour of death, then his mind becomes pure and it gets no more opportunity to become attached to woman and God at the point of death. Man has no faith in God. That is the reason he suffers so much. They say that when you plunge into the holy waters of the Ganges, your sins perch on a tree on the bank. So Ganges bath also Thakur had taken the example. No sooner do you come out of the water, your sins perch on a tree on the bank. No sooner do you come out of the water after the bath, then the sins jump back on your shoulders. All laugh by the example. A man must prepare the way beforehand so that he may think of God in the hour of death. The way lies through constant practice. If a man practices meditation on God, he will remember God even on the last day of his life. So automatically, he will not forget. If he has meditated on God, sincerely thought of God, continuously thought of God, with feeling thought of God, Brahma devotee. You have spoken very beautifully, sir. Beautiful words indeed. So now they are impressed. Master, oh, this is just idle talk. He does not want to take any special credit for that. So he says, just I talked. So in Thakur's case, he just talk is elevating. Because it comes from the experience, because it comes from the heart. But do you know my inner feelings? So this is a talk outside. Do you know my inner feeling? I am the machine and God is the operator. So this keeps Thakur free of any worldly tinge, no I. And the house, and he is the indweller, and the engine, and he is the engineer, and the chariot, and he is the charioteer. I move as he moves me. I do as he makes me do. So doing is by God through that man. Moved by God, he moves. So that talk now is over. It had gone for a festival where they have to sing their bhajans, where somebody has to preach from the pulpit. Presently, Trailokya began to sing to the accompaniment of drums and cymbals. Sri Ramakrishna danced, intoxicated with divine love automatically. Many times he went into samadhi. So the depth is there. He stood still, his eyes fixed, his face beaming, with one hand on the shoulder of a beloved disciple. Coming down a little from the state of ecstasy, he danced again. Danced, samadhi, coming down, danced again. Like a mad elephant, regaining consciousness of the outer world, he improvised lines to the music. So this much outside consciousness has come, is understanding, feeling the spirit of that song and adding lines corresponding to that mood. O mother, dance about thy devotees. Dance thyself and make them dance as well. O mother, dance in the lotus of my heart. Dance, O thou, the ever-blessed Brahman. Dance in all thy world bewitching beauty. Dance in all thy world bewitching beauty. So all these lines are composed by Sri Ramakrishna on this spur of the moment and added to that song. An indescribable scene. The exquisite and celestial dance of a child, completely filled with ecstatic love of God and identified heart and soul with the Divine Mother. The Brahmo devotees danced around the Master again and again, attracted like iron to the magnet. In ecstatic voices, they chanted the name of Brahman. Again, they chanted the name of the Divine Mother. Many of them wept like children, crying, Mother, Mother. So much influenced by Thakur's Samadhi and Bhav, they all behaved like that. When the music was over, the devotees and the master sat down. Although it was about 8 o'clock, the evening worship of the Brahma Samaj had not yet begun. In the joy of this divine music, they had forgotten all about their formal worship. Vijay, who was to conduct the evening worship, evening services, sat facing the master. His mother-in-law and the other Brahmo ladies wanted to see Sri Ramakrishna. So the master went to meet them in another room, according to those traditions of those days. After a time, the master came back and said to Vijay, what devotion to God your mother-in-law has. About the worldly life, she said to me, oh, you needn't tell me about the world. No sooner does wave no sooner does one wave disappear than another rises up. It is being told by Vijay's mother-in-law. But I said, what is that to you? You have knowledge. She replied, where is my knowledge? I haven't yet been able to go beyond Vidyamaya and Avidyamaya. Then the knowledge comes, she knows this. It won't help me much to go beyond just the illusion of ignorance. I shall have to transcend the illusion of knowledge. That Aham Brahmasmi is knowledge, but unless one goes beyond that, one is not perfected. That she knows. Only then shall I have true knowledge of God. I am quoting your own words, though she has learned this from Thakur himself. While they were talking, Benipal, their host, entered the room. Beni to Vijay, sir, please get up. It is already late. Please begin the worship. Vijay is not in that mood. Vijay, What further need is there of worship? I find that according to your arrangement, the rice pudding is served first and then the soup and other dishes. Thakur has stopped. That should be like the end dish. Because what we call, some name is there in English, dessert. In Bengali also, Madhurena Samapayet. They end with the sweet. The South Indians do not do. They say we end with rice, curd and rice, or buttermilk and rice. Master with a smile. The devotees provide offerings according to their temperament. The Sattvic devotee offers the deity simple rice pudding, and the Rajasic devotee 50 different dishes. The Tamasic devotee slaughters goats and other animals. So according to their temperament, they serve. Vijay began to hesitate about going to the platform to conduct the service, worship. He said to the master, I shall conduct the worship from the platform only if you give me your blessing. Master, it will be all right if you don't feel any egotism. If you don't have the vain feeling, I am giving a lecture, listen to me. What begets egotism? Knowledge or ignorance? It is only the humble man who attains knowledge. In a low place, rainwater collects. It runs down from a mount. It runs down. Okay. A man achieves neither knowledge nor liberation as long as he has egotism. So that is the main thing. Vijay is not feeling like that, but Thakur is telling you must sit on the top or anywhere, you should not feel egotism. He comes back again and again to the world. The calf bellows Amba Amba. That is I. That is why it suffers such agony. The butcher slaughters it, and the shoemaker makes shoes from its hide. Besides, its hide is used for the drum, which is beaten mercilessly. Still no end to its misery. At long last, a carding machine is made from its entails. While carding the cotton, the machine makes the sound tu tu. That is dau dau. Then the poor calf is released from all suffering. So Thakur has seen all this process and is using that to show egotism gives trouble, no ego gives freedom. The calf says as it were, oh God, thou art the doer and I am nothing. Thou art the operator and I am the machine. Thou art everything. As if the calf is saying like that. 3 words now about himself. 3 words. Master, teacher and father. Prick me like thorns. All of them show superiority, ego, the feeling of superiority. I am the son of God, his eternal child. How can I be a father? God alone is the master and I am his instrument. He is the operator and I am the machine. If somebody addresses me as Guru, teacher, next point. I say to him, go away, you fool. How can I be a teacher? There is no teacher except Satchidananda. That if that Satchidananda is working through Thakur, then he is a teacher, not as a man. There is no refuge except him. He alone is the ferryman to take one across the ocean of the world. To Vijay, it is very difficult to act as an acharya. It harmed the acharya himself. Finding a number of men doing him reverence He sits erect, crossing his legs, and says proudly, I am preaching, hear ye all. Now we find this very common, very common. Not only Acharya, the storytellers, the Puran Vachakas. There have been many popular, famous Katha Vachakas recently, or in any sabha. People honoring him as if he is God. People honor him as he is a great teacher. And if he gets deluded by his ego at that point, gone. He should understand that he is not teaching the people. He is singing the glories of God. If they are benefited, all right, they are listening. So, anybody who acts as a teacher, Swami Vivekananda says he spoils the whole show, even if the school teacher feels he is a teacher. Everybody should the discourse, like my discourse. The man who discourses should feel he is a sadhaka, and this discourse helps him think of God and be a sadhana. And the listener should be sadhakas. They feel by listening they are doing sadhana, or by listening they are getting the impetus to do sadhana. If he thinks I am the lecturer and they think we are the listeners, then nothing happens to either of them. Ego comes. And a peculiar listener complex comes to them. They are superior than others who do not listen. That thing comes. This is a very bad attitude. He gets a little prestige and it ends there. That is what he gets. People will say at most, Vijay Babu has spoken very well. He knows a great deal. Never cherish the attitude. I am preaching. Always say to the Divine Mother, O Mother, thou art the operator and I am the machine. I do as thou makes me do. I speak as thou makest me speak. So in the Shashi Maharaj's version, he was telling Devamata, Sri Ramakrishna never went anywhere to preach. He went to enjoy the God's sport with the devotees. But as soon as he went there, the Divine Mother through him started teaching people. That is his description. Vijay Emily, please give me your permission. Only then I will sit on the platform. Platform or that pulpit. তবে আমি গিয়ে বসবো where will you not know, then only I will sit to conduct the worship, because here difference has been made between the platform and the pulpit. Master with a smile, what shall I say? Pray to God yourself. He belongs to all, even as Uncle Moon is the uncle of all children. You have nothing to fear if you are sincere. On being further requested by Vijay, the master said, yes, go. Follow the rules. Everything is all right if one has sincere love for God. So, everywhere rider and go. Vijay sat on the platform. What is there? Platform. Previously, we read something. Oh, no, platform to conduct the worship. We read somewhere differently. Okay, so platform is the raised platform from where he talks. That's all. We just sat on the platform and conducted the worship according to the rules of the Brahma Samaj. At the time for prayer, he repeatedly called on the mother, touching the hearts of all. After the worship, their host entertained the master and the devotees with a sumptuous feast. Soon they were ready to return home. Sri Ramakrishna became engaged in conversation with Vijay, no one else but M being present. Now that is about Vijay's work in the Brahma Samaj, but he has got experience of the God with forms, so it has become difficult for him. That is the topic. Master, you prayed to God addressing him as mother. That is very good. People say that the mother's attachment to the child is stronger than the father's. A son can force his demand on his mother, but not on his father. Example, once cartloads of money were coming from the estate of Trailokya's mother. They were guarded by many red turbaned stalwarts armed with big sticks. Trailokya, who had been waiting on the road with his men, pounced upon the money and took it away by force. A son has a very strong, so he gives examples of the world to convince us about the spiritual thing. A son has a very strong claim on his mother's wealth. People say that a mother cannot very well sue her son in a court of law. No. So something he knows of everything. Vijay, if Brahman is our mother, then has it any form or is it formless? So that thing comes in his mind. The relationship has come, but it is with form or without. Master, that which is Brahman is also Kali, the mother, the primal energy. When inactive, it is called Brahman. Again, when creating, preserving, and destroying, it is called Shakti. Still water is an illustration of Brahman. The same water moving in waves may be compared to Shakti, Kali. What is the meaning of Kali? Literally black. Huh? She who communes with Mahakal, the Absolute. Mahakal is the Absolute. Is Kali. She is formless and again she has form. If you believe in the formless aspect, then meditate on Kali as that. So she is both. You can have mother relation, even that without form. If you meditate on any aspect of her with firm conviction, she will let you know her true nature. So that is, will come afterwards. You start praying, believing, don't bother about form or formless in the beginning. She will let you know her own true nature. Then you will realize that not merely does God exist, but He will come near you and talk to you as I am talking to you. Intimacy. Have faith and you will achieve everything. Remember this too. If you believe that God is formless, then stick to that belief with firm conviction. But don't be dogmatic. Never say, emphatically about God that he can be only this and not that. That is Thakur's condition. You may say, I believe that God is formless, but he can be many things more. He alone knows what else he can be. God alone knows what else he can be. I do not know. I do not understand. How can man with his 1 ounce of intelligence know the real nature of God? Limited, unlimited. Can you put 4 shares of milk in a 1 share jar? If God, through his grace, ever reveals himself to his devotee and makes him understand, then he will know, but not otherwise. That which is Brahman is Shakti, and that again is the mother. He it is, says Ramprasad, that I approach as mother, but must I give away the secret here in the marketplace? From the hints I have given, O mind, guess what that being is. So both mother and father, form and formless, everything is he. Ramprasad has given that hint. Ramprasad implies that he has known the truth of Brahman. He addresses Brahman as mother. In another song, Ramprasad expresses the same idea. Thus, knowing the secret that Kali is one with the highest Brahman, I have discarded once for all both dharma and adharma. So I is gone. When one understand Brahman and Brahma Shakti aware, then I does not stand. So both I do virtue and I do wrong things is gone. Adharma means unrighteous actions, actions forbidden by religion. Dharma means the pious actions prescribed by religion. As for instance, charity to the poor, feeding the Brahmins and so on. Vijay, what remains if one renounces both dharma and adharma? Master, pure love of God. I pray to the Divine Mother, O Mother, here, take thy dharma, here, take thy adharma, and give me pure love for thee. Here, take thy virtue, here, take thy vice, and give me pure love for thee. You understand the opposite? Because giving up virtue is what we want. I am doing this virtue. But giving up virtue should not mean that I do evil things. So that also is mentioned. Here, take thy knowledge, here, take the ignorance, and give me pure love for thee. So this knowledge also is I know. You see, I didn't ask even for knowledge or public recognition. When one renounces both dharma and adharma, there remains only pure love of God, as his prayer shows. Love that is stainless, motiveless, and that one feels only for the sake of love, not for any gain. A Brahma devotee, is God different from his Shakti? So some philosophical question. Master, after attaining perfect knowledge, one realizes that they are not different. They are the same, like the gem and its brilliance. This is the example given by Gyaneshwar. Thinking of the gem, one cannot but think of its brilliance. Again, they are like milk and its whiteness. Thinking of the one, you must also think of the other. But you cannot realize this non-duality before the attainment of perfect knowledge. Till then you have to only believe. Almost perfect knowledge, attaining perfect knowledge, one goes into samadhi. Beyond the 24 cosmic principles, no word. Therefore, the principle of I does not exist in that stage. So that 24 cosmic principles includes I. A man cannot describe in words what he feels in samadhi. Coming down, he can give just a hint about it. I come down 100 cubits as it were when I say Om after samadhi. Brahman is beyond the injunction of the Vedas and cannot be described. There neither I nor you exist. So he has given the correct hints for the thing indescribable. As long as a man is conscious of I and you, and as long as he feels that it is he who prays or meditates, so long will he feel that God is listening to his prayer and that God is a person. Sagun Brahma, so long as I feel my I. Then he must say, Oh God, thou art the master and I am that servant. So best relation with Sagun Brahma. Thou art the whole and I am a part of thee. Thou art the mother and I am thy child. At that time, there exists a feeling of difference. I am one and thou art another. It is God Himself who makes us feel this difference, and on account of this difference, one sees man and woman. Subject and object is the main principle. Right? Light and darkness and so on. As long as one is aware of this difference, one must accept Shakti. That is the Shakti, the personal God. It is God who has put I consciousness in us. So that also depends upon God. You may reason 1,000 times, still this I does not disappear. As long as I consciousness exists, God reveals Himself to us as a person. Sagun Brahma. Therefore, as long as a man is conscious of I and of differentiation, he cannot speak of the attributeless Brahman and must accept Brahman with attributes. This Brahman with attributes has been declared in the Vedas, the Puranas, and the Tantras to be Kali, the primal energy. Okay. Vijay, how, sir, can one have the vision of the primal energy and attain Brahmajnana, the knowledge of the attributeless Brahman? Now, these are hypothetical questions for a man on the earth who does not have those experiences. Master, pray to him with a yearning heart and weep. That will purify your heart. You see the reflection of the sun in clear water. In the mirror of his high consciousness, the devotee sees the form of the primal energy, Brahman with attributes. So, reflection is with attributes. But the mirror must be wiped clean. Then only this Brahmasmi comes. One does not see the right reflection if there is any dirt on the mirror. As long as a man must see the sun in the water of his eye consciousness and has no other means of seeing it, as long as he has no means of seeing the real sun except through its reflection, so long is the reflected sun mm, so long as the reflected sun alone, 100% real to him, 100% real to him. As long as the I is real, so long is the reflected sun real, 100% real. That reflected sun is nothing but the primal energy. So in how many ways he has described this. But if you seek Brahmajnana, the knowledge of the attributeless Brahman, then proceed to the real sun through its reflection. So reflection will tell you that there is a real sun. Pray to Brahman with attributes who listens to your prayers and he himself will give you full knowledge of Brahman. That is the beautiful thing. Sagun Brahma can be prayed for and Saguna and Nirguna are not different. So that Sagun Brahman himself will give you the real Brahman. For that which is Brahman with attributes is verily Brahman without attributes. That which is Brahman is verily Shakti. One realizes this non-duality after the attainment of perfect knowledge. The Divine Mother gives her devotee Brahmajnana too, but a true lover of God generally does not seek the knowledge of Brahman because he wants to enjoy his play with Brahman. There is another path, the path of knowledge. This is through love how one attains knowledge. Now, the path of knowledge, which is very difficult because no I from the beginning, no word from the beginning. You members of the Brahma Samaj are not jnanis. You are bhaktas. The jnani believes that Brahman alone is real and the world is illusory as a dream. So, not Aishwarya and all that which you describe. To him, I and you are illusory as a dream to the jnani. That you don't believe. You only think God is Nirakar, so you are a devotee. God is our inner controller. Pray to him with a pure and guileless heart. He will explain everything to you. Give up egotism and take refuge in him. You will realize everything. So, answer to everything is this. Pray to God, be egoless, then he will himself reveal everything to you. The master sang, dwell, O mind, within yourself, enter no other's house. If you but seek there, you will find all you are searching for. God, the true philosopher's stone, who answers every prayer, lies hidden deep within your heart, the richest gem of all. How many pearls and precious stones are scattered all about the outer court that lies before the chamber of your heart. So you will have several spiritual experiences outside the court, and when you enter, there will be no I. He continued, when you mix with people outside your samaj, love them all. So that contraction will not allow you to go. Realize. When in their company, be one of them. Don't harbor malice toward them. Malice does not allow spiritual progress. Don't turn up your nose in hatred and say, oh, this man believes in God with form and not in the formless God. That man believes in the formless God and not in God with form. To none of them you should turn your nose. This man is a Christian, this man is a Hindu, and this man is a Muslim. It is God alone who makes people the see things in different ways. Know that people have different natures. Realize this and mix with them as much as you can and love all. But enter your own inner chamber to enjoy peace and bliss. Mix with all, but enter your inner chamber to get peace. Mm. Lighting the lamp of knowledge in the chamber of your heart. Behold the face of the mother, Brahman's embodiment. So you will realize when you go in the deeps of your heart. You can see your own true self only within your own chamber. So there your real nature will be revealed. The cowherds take the cows to gaze in the pasture. There the cattle mix. They all form one herd. But on returning to their sheds in the evening, they are separated. Then each stays by itself in its own stall. Therefore, I say, dwell by yourself to your own chamber. This is the example he has given. All cows mix together, but separate. So you mix with all, but in solitude you think of God. It was 10 o'clock in the evening. The master got into a carriage to return to Dakshineshwar. One or two attending devotees got in with him. The carriage stood under a tree in deep darkness. Benipal wanted to send some sweets and other food with Sri Ramakrishna for Ramlal, the master's nephew. Benipal, sir, Ramlal was not here this evening. With your permission, I should like to send some sweets for him by your attendant. Master, with great anxiety, oh Benipal, oh sir, please don't send these things with me. That will do me harm. It is never possible for me to lay up anything. I hope you won't mind. Benipal, as you please, sir. Please give me your blessings. Master, oh, we have been very happy today. You see, he alone is a true man who has made money his servant. But those who do not know the use of money are not men, even though they have human forms. So drastic. They may have human bodies, but they behave like animals. You are blessed indeed. You have made so many devotees happy today. So we have completed that day's description now. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kaviviridhitam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhui Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.